Man is now able to eat them for food. So anyway, God places one restriction upon the eating of meat, though. Man is not permitted to eat the blood of any animal because it contains the life of the creature. This law then continues today, does it not? In the New Testament, what were the new Christians commanded to do? Refrain from blood was one of the principal elements. So we are to refrain from eating blood today.
There's people that still do it.
I'm sorry?
There's people that do it.
Oh, absolutely there are. Yeah. Well,
blood boudin and all that.
Yeah, I was going to say there's blood sausage and all of that stuff. Yeah, they're
Not me.
and in my business now too, I was a chef, but blood was used as a thickener. Yeah, in the old days, not much anymore, but it was in the old cuisine, it was used as a thickener. So, but anyway, we have to stay away from blood because why? Life is in the blood. That's right. That's right. All right. All right. We're going to read. Go on a little bit. I'm going to read Genesis 9. I'm going to read 18 through 29. Reading along with me. Now the sons of Noah who went out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. Now these three were the sons of Noah, and from these the whole earth was populated. And Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine and was drunk, and become uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both their shoulders, and went backwards, and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. So Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants he shall be to his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. So all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. So there's some interesting things going on here. The world was destroyed because the people were continually sinning. We quickly learned that the flood did not wipe out sin, however. After the flood, Noah plants a vineyard and makes wine from the grapes he harvested. He becomes drunk and lies naked in his tent. One of his sons, Ham, happens to come upon him. Instead of being embarrassed for his father, Ham gloats apparently over Noah's weakness. Instead of trying to help him, Ham seeks out his brothers, and it's inferred that he probably is kind of jokingly laughing about his drunken father. However, Shem and Japheth did not find the situation funny. They immediately went to rectify the problem. They even refused to look at Noah in his weakness. They held a garment between them, walked backwards, so that they would not see Noah's shameful condition. Ham's sin was not looking at his naked father, but what his actions implied. It seems that he gloried in his father's shameful behavior, implying that he resented Noah's authority. And when Noah awoke from his drunken stupor, and I'm not sure how we found out about what happened. The scriptures don't tell us, but anyway, he found out, and he realized what has happened. He gave a series of curses and blessings on his son and his descendants. Now, why didn't he curse Ham? Why did he bless his son?
Ham done wrong, really.
Well, Ham done wrong. So why didn't he curse Ham? Why did he bless Ham's son? Any thoughts on that?
I thought he He didn't curse Ham?
He didn't curse Ham, he cursed his son Canaan.
Yeah,
Here's the answer. Let's go back over to 9:1. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, 9:1. So God blessed Noah and his sons. So God had blessed Ham. So Noah could not take away God's blessing. So he had to bless his son, Canaan. Understand?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then Shem received a blessing, and which emphasizes relationship with God. The nation of Israel descends from Shem, and they are called God's chosen people. Noah lived to the ripe old age of 950 years. To put this in perspective, consider that Noah died 58 years after Abraham was born. It's conceivable that Noah met Abraham. It's not indicated. We don't know, but I mean it's conceivable that he met Abraham, his famous ancestor, but we don't know. But he lived 58 years after Abraham was born. All right. Any comments there before we move on into? I want to comment a little bit on Noah's drunkenness there, and we're going to talk about the use of alcohol. A touchy subject, yes, the use of alcohol, huh? I'll tell you what, many in the church, huh? Yeah, well, here's the problem with alcohol. Let's talk about it. In Genesis 9, we read that the first use of an alcoholic beverage, and we just read about that. From the wording of the passage, we assume that drinking wine was known to people then before the flood. Noah used the knowledge of winemaking to grow a vineyard to produce wine. And from the fruit of his labors, what happened? He got drunk. Huh? So, the Bible is very clear about the effects of alcohol on the body. In Proverbs 21, Ken, you got that smartphone thing there. Pull up Proverbs 21 and read that, please.
Proverbs 21,
Yeah.
the whole chapter?
No, just verse 1.
Okay.
20 verse 1, I'm sorry.
That's all right. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, like the rivers of water. He turns it wherever he wishes.
Now, let's try that again. Proverbs 20, verse 1.
Okay.
I goofed that up.
20 in verse 1, I got that.
Yeah. Okay.
Wine is a mocker.
You got it? Okay.
Strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise.
Wine is a mocker, or mine is a mocker, whoever is led astray. Yeah.
Strong drink.
Yeah. We learned that it deceives the mind. You cannot trust your judgment while you're under the influence of alcohol. You know, we have modern slogans, even today, huh? Don't drink and drive. Huh? There's a reason for that, right? It inhibits your ability to make good decisions, right?
Right.
We understand that a person under the influence of alcohol is prone to make mistakes. So, here's another one. Let's read Proverbs. I'm going to give this to Ken. Proverbs 23. No, I'm sorry. No, wait a minute. Yeah, 23:29 through 33.
29 to 33.
Proverbs 23:29 through 33.
Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has contentions? Who has complaints? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those who linger long at the wine, those who go in search of mixed wine. Do not look on the wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it swirls around smoothly. At the last, it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. Your eyes will see strange things, your heart will utter perverse things.
Yeah, right. So wine is a mocker. Huh? You see strange things. My father, at one time before he turned to preaching, was a policeman in a small town up in Minnesota, where I'm originally from, and he used to tell the story about he'd pick up drunks and he'd put them in the drunk tank, and this one guy would say, "Oh, aren't they pretty? Aren't they pretty?" They were seeing things, huh? They were drunk. They were seeing pink elephants, I guess, in the sky and stuff like that. But who knows? But anyway, then another thing we want to look up is Isaiah 5:11. Whitman, you want to grab that? Isaiah 5:11.
My finger's working.
Yeah, you get your feet. Yeah, I have that trouble myself.
Woe to those who rise early in the morning, that they may follow intoxicating drink, who continue until night, till wine inflames them. That's what it says.
Amen. All right. So woe to those who follow after strong drink. Wine inflames them. But anyway, so the scriptures are full that wine is a mocker. Wine is, alcoholic beverages are not to be followed, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, think about this country today. Alcoholism is a problem. Huh? The divorce rate in this country is astronomical, and I imagine a great deal of it is caused by alcoholism. It causes strife, destroys marriages. Most of us in life go through life untouched. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say untouched. Most of us go through life touched somehow by some member of our family with an alcoholic problem. Huh? Yeah, and it destroys families, it destroys all kinds of things. It's a real problem. But anyway.
If you talk to people that are on drugs, they usually started out being alcoholics.
Oh, perhaps so, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's usually the way they start.
Yeah.
An alcoholic.
Yeah, okay.
It just leads into that. A lot
Sure,
of people get
yeah.
drunk and they try something
Right, yeah.
and get hooked on it.
Right, yeah.
Another saying, it's not biblical, but I've heard it in my senses. First the man takes a drink, then the drink takes a drink, then the drink takes the man.
Yeah, I can understand that. That's true. That's true. So anyway, it's not always condemned in the Bible, huh? Now here's where we run into the problem, all right? Much of the ambiguity in the Bible is caused by the translators of the text. Not by the Bible itself, but by how it's translated. Translation is a complex process, and the translators have a difficult time keeping their personal opinions out of the translation process. As a result, while the Hebrew language contains several words for grape products, in fact, there are 5 different words in the Hebrew language for different types of grape products. So what happened when the translators they couldn't keep their own personal opinions out, so they just translated every one of those 5 as wine. So what we have here is that then when we come to wine in the scriptures, it could be any one of these 5. Let me tell you what the 5 are. One is a general term. I'm not going to pronounce the name, but one is a general term used to identify all products derived from grapes. Another one is a specific term used to identify fresh grape juice. Another one is literally the blood of the grapes as it comes out of the squeezed grape. Another term is the generic term for any fruit juice. Another one is the syrup that is made from the grape juice as a means of preserving it. And the fifth one is usually translated as strong drink. So there's 5 different Hebrew words that can be used for wine, and only one is used for the alcoholic definition, but our translators have not translated them into those terms, but they just translated everyone as wine. So we come into this problem. Well, anyway, when we divide the Old Testament passages between those that we know how alcohol is involved with those we know that it's not involved, we quickly learn that God consistently condemned the drinking of alcoholic beverages. Approval is only shown for non-alcoholic drinks. In the New Testament, the Greek language now did not distinguish between grape products. So, again, we have the same problem. All products derived from grapes were called by one generic word, which is translated again as wine. In our English Bibles, we can only determine the specific meanings from the context from the verse. So we have to determine what the context of the thing is from the verses itself. It seems that no matter how much alcohol a person consumes, 1 Timothy 5:23 is always brought up. Huh? Take a little wine for your stomach's sake, huh? Well, that says it. Wine's okay, huh? Everybody will say, all right? However,
I look back on, Jesus says you don't put new wine in old
wineskins.
wineskins.
Right.
Why? Why is that? I'll tell you why it is. You ever made wine? I've made wine.
Okay.
When it ferments,
it'll burst.
It's going to put out gas. It's going to blow up the old wineskin.
Right.
So it's fermented wine that Jesus is talking about here.
Right.
In my opinion. And I mean, I'm against drinking, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I do believe that it is fermented. Most people say, well, the New Testament's all unfermented wine, but I don't believe that or wouldn't say that.
Well, let's get into some of those instances. We got one coming up that we'll identify real readily, so we'll hold it for a second. Let's see. But anyway, it seems that 1 Timothy 5:23 is immediately brought up as that saving thing, But this is used for what? Medicinal purposes.
Medicinal purposes, right.
Not for.
Some doctors recommend red wine for people that have leukemia, because it has to build the red corpuscles.
Right, yeah. Right, but anyway, here we are in John 2:1-11, we read the story of Jesus converting water into wine. We cannot directly determine its alcohol content. However, if we read the context of the verb, of the context, if the drink produced was intoxicating, we would be claiming that Jesus supplied more alcoholic beverages to the group that was already drunk. No. A quick calculation shows that Jesus made about 100 to 160 gallons of drink. Consuming this quantity of liquor would have constituted a huge drinking party. However, drinking parties are condemned, so we must conclude that the drink must not have been unfermented. Notice that the governor of the feast, the one in charge of making sure that no one violates the law by getting drunk, called Jesus' drink the best served during the feast. The best wine does not necessarily refer to the beverage with the greatest alcohol content. In a culture without refrigeration, fresh, pure grape juice was treasured. That was the most treasured treat. The governor was simply complimenting the host on the drink quality of taste. Also, we notice from our study of the Hebrew words, the grape products of the old law did not permit the serving of alcoholic beverages, and since Jesus would not violate the law, the drink he made could not have been alcoholic. So he made fresh grape juice. Amen. But anyway, so when we boil everything down about alcoholic beverages, we have those in the church that do not condemn a little social drinking. We have those that do. So I'm not here to say, what I'm here to say is that use your own judgment. But here's what I'm going to say. And this is and this is my personal opinion. Take it for what it is worth. But let's go to 1 Corinthians 8:13. Ken, let me go back over that smart. Well, let me do it. I got one of those too.
Yes.
You got it?
8:13.
1 Corinthians 8:13.
Therefore, if food makes my brother stumble, I will never again eat meat, lest I make my brother stumble.
Right.
I think that's the main thing right there.
That's it. So my personal opinion is that I will not knowingly do anything that is going to make my brother stumble. So if I condone or have a social drink, and that then inhibits or says to my brother it's okay to drink, then I think that this boy right here has done a great disservice to a brother. So I'm going to stay away from strong drink. I'm going to stay away from alcohol and fermented products so that I don't make a brother stumble. So,
Well, the verse right before that also
say it. Read it.
applies, verse 12.
Read it.
But when you thus sin against the brethren and wound their weak conscience,
Oh, okay. There you go. Okay.
you sin against Christ.
Okay. All right. So anyway, it's a hot topic, huh?
Well, you think about even drinking alcoholic beverage. I mean, it's like anger and sin not. I mean, you could drink it, alcoholic beverage. I mean, don't commit sin. Don't, and it's not wise. Bible Stephen says it's not wise to linger in it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not bidding for it, but I'm just stating that a lot of people will tell you when you talk to them about it.
Yeah.
1 Corinthians 6:12 is good too.
Right.
2 chapters earlier where he says, all things are lawful to me, but not all things are helpful.
Good point.
And
That's
I'm
right.
not to be brought under the power of
Yeah.
anything.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
And you know that alcohol is one of those things that
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree.
affect you.
Right. So we could debate that point forever, and there's a lot of debate in the church on it, and I'm not here to condemn, say right or wrong, except that that's my personal opinion. I will not do anything to make a brother stumble. Right?
Well, I don't know the verse, but it ties in with this also. I could look it up, but
Yeah.
there's a verse that basically says that all the things that go into the mouth that you consume are not simple. It's what comes out of the mouth.
Right.
Well,
True.
the alcohol influences
Oh,
what comes. It doesn't lead to clear thought and proper speech. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Just not wise, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
That's right. Okay. All right. All right. So anybody got any other comments on that? Otherwise, we're going to leave that alone. I got one other comment I want to go back to that I forgot to mention. All right. When God, when Noah came out of the ark, God made a covenant with man, did he not? And he put a rainbow in the sky. And that rainbow was a covenant that God said, I will never again destroy man by the flood. And it angers me to no end that they have taken that emblem of God, the homosexual movement, and turned it into a pride emblem, symbol, huh? Rainbow flag. Huh? I tell you what, we better be real vigilant. Again, it goes back to this country today. We allow sin, huh? Yeah, and it's amazing how it starts. Sin, the devil is a wily character, huh? I mean, he gets in there a little bit, yeah, he's in there. So, and I think back in my life now, and I guess it's been in about the last 50 years or so, but homosexuality came slowly out of the closet, huh? But look where it is today. We promote it. We glorify it. We do. It's so sad, huh? And Ken, you work in the school system. You see it every day, huh? Lord have mercy. I tell you what. I would hate to be a parent raising young children today. Yeah. I tell you what, they are so inundated with sin. I don't know how we can keep them away from it, to shield them from it. But boy, I'll tell you, it's a big responsibility. You young guys out there, you got a big responsibility. I tell you, it's tough. Wow. All right. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about. I'm going to skip chapter 10 in our study, simply because it's full of names, unpronounceable names. Well, unpronounceable for me, perhaps. There are Bible scholars more apt than I, with more ability than I, can read all of these names, but so not me. But there is one I want to make mention of, and it's found in the 25th verse of chapter 10. So let's read that. 25th verse of chapter 10. To Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Now, that's an interesting phrase there. The earth was divided. What do you think that means? What do you think that means, the earth was divided?
Apparently they had different ways of thought.
I'm sorry?
I guess the people had different means of thinking, or different ways of thought.
Okay, so it may have been political then.
Right.
Anything else?
The earth is divided. This country is divided today.
True. What else could it have been?
Well, it could have been divided in their beliefs and the way that their lifestyles,
Yeah.
because after the flood, everyone born, as far as the newborns, people growing up, didn't experience the sinfulness that was before, so
Yeah.
they could easier be led astray.
Well, true. I think when we come to the Tower of Babel, that'll become more apparent. But there's another possibility. It could have been political, or as you just said, or it could have been
This,
that the continents were formed.
right. This,
So,
Well, that's true.
yeah. So, whichever one is correct, the Bible doesn't tell us. I'm of the opinion that the continents were formed at this point, that the earth was divided.
The earth was divided.
The earth
Yeah,
was
rereading
divided.
this,
Yeah.
Physical division.
But that's only my own personal thought. It could have been just political too, but nevertheless. But I just throw that out there. But this happened about 100 years after the flood. Well, we're fast running out of time here, so I think before we go into the Tower of Babel, we'll leave that for next week, and we'll leave it at that for today.
Yeah, if you think about the Tower of Babel and the division, they said everybody was together and had the same language, so it may not have been a political, it may have been physical.
Yeah, true.
That you're talking
Yeah,
about.
right, yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I want to thank everyone for their presence, for their input, and for bearing with me. And a special thank you to our visitors for being with us here and for your input. All right. So next week.